ओ नमो नमः। गीताभ्यासे 3-10 सहयज्ञाः प्रजाः सृष्ट्वा, a study by S. L. Abhyankar, Mumbai, Shukravasare, November 27, 2020. It would be good to begin every session of Gita Abhyasa with recitation of Gita Dhyanam and the Namana Vakyam. Om Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Grathitam Purana Munina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitam Rutavarshinim Bhagavatim Ashtadashadhyayinim Amba Tvamanusandathami Bhagavad Gite Bhavadveshinim. Om Shri Paramatmane Namaha. Sahayajñah praja sruštva purovacha prajapatihi anena prasavishyadhvam eshavo svishtakamadu. Padacheda. Sahayajñah prajaha sruštva pura uvacha prajapatihi anena prasavishyadhvam eshaha vaha astu ishtakamadhu. Vakyamshashah padabhyasah anvayarthascha. I am trying a modification of the presentation of this study. I think it would be good to have the Vakyamsha analysis and the Padabhyasah Anvayarthascha near to each other. The column in the table below, Kriyavachakaha, was earlier Kriyapadiya. The contention is that Kriyapadiyaha is a term more appropriate for Tigantaha, not for Kridantaha. But there can be a Vakyamshaha with a Kridantaha also as a Kriyavachaka. The term Kriyavachakaha can be appropriate for both Tigantaha and Kridantaha. So, the table has the columns Anukramankaha, Avyayaha, Kartrupadiyaha, Karmapadiyaha, Kriyavachakaha. And analysis is Pura Prajapatihi Sahayajñah Prajaha Sruštva Uvacha. For Vakyamshaha 1a, Sruštva is Kridantaha, not Tigantaha. The phrase Sahayajñah Prajaha has Karmapadiyaha of the Kridantaha Sruštva. The word Prajapati is common subject, Kartrupadiyaha, for both Sruštva and Uvacha. This also is grammatically correct because Kridantaha such as Sruštva needs to have a common subject, common with the main Tigantaha Uvacha. So the Anvayaha now, Pura Sahayajñah Prajaha Sruštva Prajapatihi Uvacha. Pura, long ago, when Sahayajñah Prajaha Sruštva, creations were first created by Prajapatihi. Sahayajñah is adjective of Prajaha. So both are Strilingam Dvitiya Bahuvachanam of the Pratipadikau, Sahayajña and Praja respectively. Sahayajña, Yajñena Saha iti Sahayajña, Tritiyanvitaha Saha Tatpurusha. Yajñaha. In Aptay's dictionary, Yaj Bhave Na. In Shabdakalpadrumaha, Yajñaha Pullingam Ijyate Havirdiyate Atra Ijjante Devata Atra Itiva. Yaj plus Yajayajayata Vichhapracharaksho Nang 3.390. This is from Ashtadhyaya. Iti Nang. What are those yajñaha? That the prajaha were created along with those yajñaha. The word yajñaha was also there in Yajñarthat Karmanonyatra in the previous stanza 3-9. In that context, I had stated, from my study of Gita, I know that a wide variety of yajñaha are detailed in Dravya Yajñas, Tapo Yajña, Yoga Yajñas, Sathapare. etc. in 4-28 to 4-30. Now, in the present context of Sahayajnaha Prajaha, I would like to state that by my understanding, Yajna means presence of energy. So, Sahayajnaha Prajaha Sruštva means that all creations were created with an element of energy therein. In atomic physics, it is well established that every matter, even a particle of dust, has molecular and atomic structure, which has electrons revolving around a nucleus. That is presence of energy. And that is Yajna. Everything has been created like that. Earthquakes and lava erupting from a volcano are evidences of earth itself being a Yajna Bhumi. I very much like the Panini Sutram, Adarshanam Lopaha 160. What is Adarshanam? Not visible, yet exists. It has only gone hiding, Lopa. A mere particle of dust does not mean there is no Yajna, no presence of energy in it. One realizes how it can bring tears if it enters the eye. Praja. Prakrishtam jayate iti praja. Visheshanam. Atra strilingam praja. Praja or praja, procreation, generation, propagation, birth, production. Sruštva. Srujjiti dhatu. Tasya tva krudantah. At ashtadhyayi.com, Sruj, Srujang Visarge, Divadi, 4-75. Atmanepadi Sakarmaka, Akarmaka, Anit. And Sruj, Srujang Visarge, Tudadi, 6-150. Parasmaipadi Sakarmaka, Anit. The meaning Visarge is common to both versions, Divadihi and Tudadihi. The difference is that Divadihi is Atmanepadi Akarmakaha, intransitive, whereas Tudadihi is Parasmaipadi Sakarmakaha, transitive. For the meaning Tudadihi, which is Parasmaipadi Sakarmakaha, Visarga should be taken to mean to make an object manifest, to throw light upon, to create, to produce. Here Prajapati, the creator, creates his creations. The creator and the creations are different from each other. This is the philosophy of dualism, Dvaitavada. For the meaning as Divadihi, which is Atmanepadi Akarmakaha, Visarga should be taken to mean to become manifest or make oneself manifest. Also, the phrase Sahayajnaha Prajaha cannot be Karmapadiyaha because Divadihi is Akarmakaha, intransitive. Then the words Sahayajnaha Prajaha should be taken to be Strilingam Prathama Bahuvachanam, not Strilingam Dvitiya Bahuvachanam. Rather, for clearer exposition, the Anvayaha can be Pura Sahayajnaha Prajaha iti Atmanam Sruštva Prajapatihi Uvacha. By this meaning, the creator and the created are one and the same, just difference in forms, characteristics, attributes, as per the philosophy of unism, Advaitavada. This Vakyamsha has the propensity of interpretation by both philosophies, dualism, Dvaitavada, and unism, Advaitavada. Prajapati. Prajayaha prajanam va patihi iti Prajapati. Shashti Tatpurush. As such, the word Praja has plurality, Bahuvachanam inherent. Praja, the subjects of a king, Raja, cannot be just a single person. But because Sahayajnaha Prajaha is a phrase in plural, deciphering in plural as Prajanam Patihi iti Prajapatihi seems better. Also, since Prajapatihi is creator of all creations, deciphering in plural will encompass all creations. Uvacha. At ashtadhyayi.com, Uvacha. Lit lakaraha parasmaipadam prathama purushaha ekvachanam of brew, brewing, vyaktayam vachi. Adadihi 2-39. उभयपदी सकर्मकः सेट टू स्पीक, टू टेल, टू एक्सप्लेन. ऑल्सो उवाच लिट् लकारः परस्मैपदं प्रथमपुरुषः एकवचनम् ऑफ वच वशं परिभाषणे अदादिः 2-58 परस्मैपदी सकर्मकः अनिट टू स्पीक, टू टेल, टू टॉक टू. फ्रॉम द अबव उवाच इज तिगन्तः इन लिट परस्मैपदम उत्तमपुरुषः एकवचनम ऑफ बोथ वच द्वितीयगणीयः परस्मैपदी परिभाषणे एंड ब्रू द्वितीयगणीयः उभयपदी व्यक्तायां वाच. नो परिभाषणे implies a dialogue, whereas Vyaktayam Vachi can be a speech just unto oneself or can be a thought which got versified as an expression. Here, Prajaha Sruštva, having become the creations, Prajapati did not have a dialogue with anybody. Just a thought of his got versified. So, Uvacha can be taken as Tigantaha or brew द्वितीयगणीयः उभयपदी व्यक्तायां वाच. All other Vakyangshaha are sub-clauses detailing what Prajapati was. Actually, what thoughts of Prajapati got expressed is what Sri Krishna Bhagavan told Arjuna in Gita, is what Sanjaya narrated to Dhritarashtra, is what is paraphrased in Mahabharatam, composed by Maharshi Vyasa, who taught it to his disciple Vaishampayana, who gave exposition of Mahabharatam in the court of Janamejaya, which was listened to by Sutaha, who in turn narrated to the assemblage of Rushayaha in Nimisharanyam of Shaunakadaya. There is so much of indirect speech. Sanskrit keeps it all simple by not having any indirect speech, just direct speech. And possibly we can appreciate the logic why Sanskrit doesn't have any indirect speech. Pura सहयज्ञाः प्रजाः सृष्ट्वा प्रजापतिः उवाच. Long ago, upon Prajapati having become the creations, following thoughts of his became versified. The analysis अनेन अन्ये सुबन्ताः क्रियावाचकः प्रसविष्यध्वम्. अनेन प्रसविष्यध्वम्. अनेन इदं सर्वनाम पुल्लिङ्गं वा नपुंसकलिङ्गं तृतीया एकवचनं बाय धिस. प्रसविष्यध्वम् प्र प्लस सु इति धातुः. सविषीध्वम् आशीर्लिङ्ग लकारः आत्मनेपदं मध्यमपुरुषः बहुवचनम् ऑफ सु शुं प्राणि प्रसवे दिवादिः 4-27 आत्मनेपदी सकर्मकः वेट टू प्रोक्रिएट, टू कंसीव, टू गिव बर्थ टू. Since prasavishidhvam is the form as per Paniniyam Vyakaranam, the form prasavishyadhvam is arsham. Anena prasavishyadhvam. Anena, by this, prasavishyadhvam. May you, all creations, procreate further. This thought seems to be akin to polymerization or of genealogy. In polymerization, a chain reaction continues, one set. In genealogy, a lineage continues. People with fatalistic philosophy have the premise that everything is governed by providence. That raises the curiosity about how providence governs such a vast multitude of biologies, biographies, and all creations. The simple answer can be, in terms of the simple management philosophy, that least managed is best managed. One can say that Prajaha Sruštva, having become the creations, Prajapati uvacha, uttered, Anena prasavishyadhvam, may you all creations procreate further. There is also a hypothesis of the ever expanding universe. So the utterance prasavishadvam applies not only to biologies and biographies, but to all the ever expanding universe. Thinking of astronomy, what usually comes to mind is the stars and planets and the galaxies. But space technologies seem to have taken the diktat, prasavishadvam, keep producing, procreating, quite seriously, that hundreds of artificial satellites are orbiting the earth as of date. Man was elated by the success of the first artificial satellite, and then procreation continued. Actually, the diktat prasavishadvam is continuously operative at a very minute micro level, evidenced by the growth of fingernails. The fingernails are ever growing the very moment we manicure them. That is the inbuilt characteristics of human biology, set long ago, pura. So the next vakyamsha. वह एषः इष्टकामधुक् अस्तु. एषः वह इष्टकामधुक् अस्तु. एषः एतत् सर्वनाम पुल्लिंगम प्रथमा एकवचनम. One is left to wonder to whom, to which entity this masculine pronoun एषः refers. It cannot be referring to Prajapati because it is only his thought which is finding expression. In that case, एषः can be referring to यज्ञ. वह युष्मत् सर्वनाम द्वितीया बहुवचनम और चतुर्थी बहुवचनम और षष्ठी बहुवचनम. Here चतुर्थी बहुवचनम for you. इष्टकामधु. इष्टकामधुः विशेषणम. अत्र पुल्लिंगम प्रथमा एकवचनम. इष्टम कामम दोग्धि यः सः इष्टकामधुक्. उपपदान्वित बहुव्रीहि. इष्टम इष्ट विशेषणम. अत्र पुल्लिंगम द्वितीया एकवचनम. इष्ट यज त और इष्ट यज यजं देव पूजा संगति करणदानेषु भ्वादि 1-1157. उभयपदी सकर्मकः अनिट. टू सैक्रिफाइस, to offer to a deity, to worship, to get associated with, to give. Ishang gatau tiwadihi 4-22. Parasmaipadi sakarmakaha set, to go. Also ishang ichhayam tudadihi 6-78. Parasmaipadi sakarmakaha set, to wish, to desire, to want. Ishang abhikshne kriyadihi नवम गणीय 9-61. परस्मैपदी सकर्मकः सेट, टू रिपीट. कामम काम पुल्लिंगम द्वितीया एकवचनम. दोग्धि दुह लट लकारः प्रथम पुरुषः एकवचनम. वन हू सैटिस्फाइज appropriate desire. इष्टकामधुक्. अस्तु अस् द्वितीय गणीय परस्मैपदी लोट लकारः प्रथम पुरुषः एकवचनम्. एषः वः इष्टकामधुक् अस्तु. मे एषः दिस यज्ञः inherent energy be वः for you इष्टकामधुक्, satisfying the appropriate desire. Overall meaning, सारांशेन पुरा सहयज्ञाः प्रजाः सृष्ट्वा. Long ago, upon Prajapati having become the creations, Prajapati uvacha, following thoughts of his became versified. Anena, by this, prasavishadvam, may you all creations procreate further. May eshaha, this yajnaha, inherent energy, be vaha, for you, ishtakamadhuk, satisfying the appropriate desire. छंदो विश्लेषण. सहयज्ञाः प्रजाः सृष्ट्वा. अष्टाक्षराणि. प्रजाः सृष्ट्वा एतेषां मात्राः एका द्वे द्वे पुरोवाच प्रजापतिः अष्टाक्षराणि प्रजाप एतेषां मात्राः एका द्वे एका अनेन प्रसविष्यध्वम् अष्टाक्षराणि सविष्यध्वम् एतेषां मात्राः एका द्वे द्वे एषवोस्त्विष्टकामधुक् अष्टाक्षराणि ष्टकाम एतेषां मात्राः एका द्वे एका अनुष्टुप् छन्दः स्वाध्याय notes of self study. I have already indulged in lot of swadhyaya in the phrase by phrase and word by word study above. This stanza seems to delineate astoundingly in the subject of genesis of the universe and its ever expanding nature. What can be the propriety or logic of this delineation in the context of an advice to Arjuna on the battlefield? The propriety is in the phrase Param Shreyaha Avapsyata in the next stanza. Shreyaha is what Arjuna had solicited in his prayer, Yat Shreyasyan Nishchitam Bruhitan Me, in 2-7. Actually, I had thought of studying the two stanzas, this one 3-10 and the next one 3-11 together. But I deferred study of 3-11 because studying both together would make the delineation too long. I know that there are those who are critical of my grammatical approach in my study of Gita. But right in the study of this stanza, is it not wonderful to realize that Sruj, Srujang Visarge Divadihi 4-75 Atmanepadi Akarmakaha lends Prajaha Sruštva to be interpreted as Prajapati having become the creations, and hence the philosophy of unism, Advaitavada, and Sruj, Srujang Visarge Tudadi 6-150 Parasmaipadi Sakarmakaha lends Prajapati Prajaha Sruštva to be interpreted as Prajapati, the creator, created his creations. In turn, dualism, Dvaitavada. My study is Swanta Sukhaya for my personal enjoyment, and I certainly love to share the joy. I do not want to get into the argument which one is correct, Advaitavada or Dvaitavada. I respect that both the arguments are propounded by intelligent, thoughtful persons. Among thoughtful persons, none is wrong or right, correct or incorrect. Each one is right in his own way, by his own experience. May study of Gita proceed to be enriched by experience, proceed to be experiential study. Shubhamastu.